Hi, I'm Alan Tetreault with Global Sugar Art, and today I'd like to share with you a very simple and age-old technique on how to make candy cane striping, but using fondant instead of sugar. So I'm going to start with just a piece of white fondant, and I've rolled this into a little log. And I'm going to take my opposing color that I want the stripes made out, and I'm just going to roll that into two small strips, about the length of the white log that you have here. And I'm going to lay one across the top, just pinch that off so that it's the same length, flatten it and roll it over, and place one on the other side. And you really only need two. You can add more, but it tends to make the spiraled colors too close together. So from here, I'm just going to start rolling this. I'm not trying to twist that color. I'm just rolling this nice and even. And you can make it as thick or as thin as you want. I'm going to stop there because I'm going to keep part of this to show you what else you can do with it. So for this piece, I'm actually going to start twisting this. And I want a really nice tight twist. Now I'm going to do something a little unusual with this. I'm going to put a little bit of cornstarch and sugar down on top of it as well. And I'm going to roll this out flat. I'm actually going to make just a very simple blossom with this. So I'm going to roll this till it's fairly thin, and you can see already you get sort of a zebra striping, which is another idea that you could use this for. But what I'm going to do with this today is I'm going to use some basic blossom cutters, and I'm just going to choose any spot on here that I want, pop that out, and maybe do a small one too. Let's see, we'll get that out of there. Whoops. There we go. And I'm going to use a sponge pad, like a cell pad, and then either a ball tool or the end of a cell pin, and I'm just going to thin that out a little bit. Just thin the edges of the petals, cup them in. And if you don't like one side, try the other. It's always going to look just a little bit different. Then I'm going to use a water brush, put a little bit of water in the center, and put your second blossom on top. And then I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, in this case. And this is one of the little gem center makers. And I'm just putting a little cornstarch on there. I'm going to put a little piece of yellow fondant in it. Push that down. Take the excess off. Well, it's arguing with me today. Let's push it back in there. There we go. And I'm just going to slip that and use that right as the center of the flower. Then you can use a forming cup and just take that flower and set it in the cup and let it dry. And you can use those to decorate any cake. And it sort of gives you just a nice mottled look, sort of something sort of fun and would be great on a little girl's cake or a child's cake. Just sort of something fun and playful. This is just another one I did in a little smaller cup. So I'm going to take the rest of that piece, and now we'll do the piping that we did on this cake. So I'm going to roll this out really thin, probably about 3/8 of an inch. And don't worry about twisting it. That's done at the very end. You just want to get it the length you want first. After you get the length you want, go from each side. You can start in the middle if you want, until you get that nice twist. Just try and make it as even as you can get it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Candy canes never are. So now there's a couple things you can do with this. You can use it around the edge of a cake as a border. You could make like an old-fashioned lollipop where you roll it up like this, cut the end off and put a popsicle stick on there and let that dry, and then you could use that as a cake decoration as a lollipop stick. You can also use this as a swag border. If you look over at the cake here, we could have made some sort of a swag border with this as well. What we did on this cake was we trimmed the bottom with it, and then we just did a sort of back and forth motion, and we laid that on a former to dry, and we made these ice cream cones, and then little pieces of ice cream coming out the top. It's a very, very simple, old-fashioned technique that has many, many different applications. Just use your imagination and have fun with it. But you can see how easy it is to use. Just use a solid piece of fondant and 2 colored strips on the outside and roll it out. And just have fun. Thanks for watching. You can find all our products at globalsugarart.com. Thank you.